So welcome. We are here today to make a dragon Haku wind spiral ornament. See if I can get that to show up on the camera. There's his face. You can hang him from a window or from your ceiling when he's all done, and he'll kind of spin. And this is a character from the movie Spirited Away, if you didn't know. And that's what we'll be making today. So you should start out with 2 pages of pattern, one with the dragon's body and head, and one with these 6 pieces of mane that will go down the dragon's body, and 2 pieces of tail. You will also need a pair of scissors and some glue. We're using glue sticks. If you've got Elmer's glue, crazy glue, that works too. Just make sure that you're going slow so the glue has time to kind of dry and bond if it's getting a little slippery. All right, so start out by cutting out all of the shapes seen here. This hair has a lot of little pieces and triangles to cut out. If you're finding that that is tedious and you don't like it, don't worry about it. You can just cut over them and not cut out all the pieces like I did on this one. Just whatever is most fun for you. Don't sweat it. So once you've got all your pieces cut out, I've cut these out ahead of time. You want to start with your 2 body pieces. This is the top that will be the dragon's back. This is the belly that will be on the bottom. And you just want, get this to lay flat here, to take your glue and just go all around and get your body all glued on the white side. All right, so it's got one side. I'm just gonna, since glue sticks aren't the strongest bonding glue, I'm just gonna do a little bit on this side too. So once you've got your sides glued, go ahead and just match up the 2 biggest pieces so they're lined up on top of each other. And then just kind of go down the spiral. It'll kind of stick to each other as you go. It's okay, you can just kind of pull it apart and keep going. And I'm just kind of holding each side with my fingers so that it's lined up, and then pressing together with these 2 fingers to get it so that both sides are sticking to each other in a mostly matched up way. And as you go, you might notice you've got some white edges showing from where the patterns don't match up exactly. That's fine. You can go back over them with your scissors if you want and trim off any white so it doesn't show. Or you can take a darker colored marker and go over the edges so that it's kind of got an outline that covers the white. Or if it doesn't bother you, then that's fine too. All right, so once you've got your body, kind of make sure everything's bonded together, we're going to glue on the head. So for the head, you want to, this is going to be kind of the neck where the head is attached. And in order for the head to kind of be upright when you're finished and it's hanging, you want to kind of just bend it a little so that when this part of the spiral is flat, the neck is vertical, if that makes sense. So just kind of bend it so that it stands up like that. And then we're going to take the 2 sides of head. I'm going to put some glue on the edges of the neck, just on the ends, not too deep. And then also all over the head, because we want the 2 halves of head to stick together, as well as to the neck. Okay. And then go ahead and just stick one side onto the neck. Just line it up in a way that looks good to you, like that. You might want to hold it there for a few seconds just to make sure everything's sticking well. If you move too fast on this craft, things start to fall apart. So you want to give the glue lots of time to stick. And then stick on the other half of the head, press all the pieces together, Make sure your bend is still there and kind of hold it to make sure it's sticking. All right, so we've got our dragon head. Then the next step is the mane. So the mane is kind of the trickiest part. You want to start, there's 6 pieces, 2 big pieces, 2 medium, 2 small. You want to start with your 2 big pieces. They should match up like that. And on each piece, there's this light blue line at the bottom, this little tab. So you want to bend that tab up towards the green part of your mane so that it's making this little right angle shape. You want to do that all the way down. And I printed this pattern on cardstock paper, so mine's kind of stiff and hard to move. And then once I've bent it, and just kind of fold it flat to make sure I've got a good edge there. And that little tab is going to be what we use to glue the mane to the body of the dragon so that it stands up on end. Okay, so do that with both halves. Okay, and then we're going to put glue on the insides and stick them together. If you wind up kind of pushing your fold flat while you're gluing, that's okay. You can just bend it back when you're done. All right, I'm going to line them up as best I can with all those little hair triangles. Like that. Make sure it's sticking together well. Give it lots of time to kind of press and hold. Okay, so you want to do that with each segment of your hair. Once they're stuck together, you want to go down this, the 2 sides of tab, and with your scissors, just cut little slits in each one. And kind of space them evenly out. They're kind of far apart on the biggest hair piece, but you want them to get closer and closer together on the smaller pieces. That's going to make it more flexible so that when we're gluing it to the dragon body, it can curl like the dragon body curls and not try to be stick straight. Okay, so I did that with this one. These ones I have already pre-made. So I've got my biggest piece of mane, my medium piece, and my smallest piece. And you can see on the smallest piece, I did cut those little slits really close together so that it'll curl really easy. And then I pulled the opening apart on this medium piece. We're going to put some glue back in there. And also these little tabs that are on the end of the big and medium pieces, I'm going to put some glue on the outside of those on both sides. And then stick them together. So now we'll have one long piece of mane. This is another step where you want to hold it, make sure that they're really stuck. It'll look like that. We'll do that again with the medium piece. Grab that little tab, pull apart the smallest piece of mane at the tip. Some glue, some more glue, and stick them together. And that might make, if you've got them overlapping like I do, your little tabs at the bottom might push down, but that's fine. Okay, so now we have one long piece of mane. It's extremely long. And now we are going to grab our dragon and glue the mane on. So this part probably takes the longest because you need to go really slow and give the time glue to stick. But just go down and kind of glue a short segment and stick it on kind of where the flat part of the dragon starts. Remember, we bent the head up. So this is the other side of the bend where it's still kind of flat. And we're just going to stick on the mane, following the curve of the circle. We're going to give it lots of time to stick on there. It's a little bit delicate. You want to make sure it's really stuck on before you go and add more glue so it doesn't pull back off. Letting it stick and just adding more glue on to the next part. And then moving the next part into the spiral like that. And holding the little tabs on the bottom with my fingernails, make sure they really stick. You might notice I'm not always making it super centered on the dragon's body. That's fine. Close enough is good enough. All right, do some more. And again, you can do this with any kind of glue. Something like Elmer's glue or crazy glue might stick a little better, but you also have to be careful not to get it too wet and too gluey if you're using a more intense glue. So you want to keep going like that. As you work, you can push the spiral of the dragon up kind of in reverse of how it will be when you're done, so that you can keep working on the outside of the spiral without getting in the way of the mane you've already glued. You want to just keep gluing that mane in until you reach the end of the tail. And then once that's dry, and won't make you wait through all the steps of me doing that, once it's dry, you want to get your little tail piece at the very end and your 2 pieces of tail that we cut out from the pattern. Gonna get out your glue stick one more time. Glue both sides of the tail on the white side. And we're also going to stick a little bit of glue on the tip of the tail. And then I find it easiest to stick tail pieces together first. Get them to match up as close as I can. And then stick the tail in between. Might need to pull it apart a little bit to get your tail in there. Stick it in there and then press it together until it's stuck. All right, so once you've done that and you've finished your mane, you will have your completed dragon Haku, and you can hang him up wherever you want in your house or your room. They can kind of, the spiral will tighten when you first make them. It'll be really small, but if you just pull on it a little and get the coil to relax, it'll be longer, so you can kind of make it look however you want if you just stretch it or don't. All right, so that's our craft this week. I hope you enjoy it, and send us pictures if you make it and like how it turned out.